All right, good afternoon, everybody. During the break, some of the brothers asked if I could extend my lecture for another hour and a half. So I'm going to oblige. We'll just extend the lecture, I guess, for another hour and a half. No. Thank you all for your attention today. I know it's long and it's a Saturday afternoon, so we really appreciate you guys being here first of all and paying attention as best as you can. So my presentation today is on leadership. Most of the sages in the room, right? If I ask you what leadership is, you'll be like, oh, that's easy, that's me. But that's not always it. I always like to illustrate my presentations with, or begin them rather, with a video and quotes, and that's exactly how I'm going to do it. This video is especially timely and telling because it's current regarding this whole quagmire that's going on with the NFL right now. I'm sure all of you know because most of you are football fans, right? Ray Rice. Okay, Ray Rice. Thanks, bro. This one actually is very telling because they do reference leadership. And I'll let you guys go ahead and see them. Just put that on the
My name is Nick Mudd. I am the co-host of 2 television shows on the Outdoor Channel. Hunting is definitely my passion. Get in my Chevy, turn on the radio, and I go. I do.
ESPN today from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road, Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, me? How many times the NFL reached out to you? 0, right? 14 years. 0 times. There are so many good men. I've been talking about this forever. There are so many good men that played in this league or coached in this league that are mentors, that are wonderful husbands, that are wonderful fathers, that are just wonderful businessmen, that are wonderful and they're accountable in their communities. There are so many wonderful people, so many great people, so many regal men that have been involved in this league for a very long time. Why are you not reaching out to those guys to mentor your young players? Why are those guys, as soon as they retire, kicked to the curb and say, we don't need you anymore because you can't make us money? Why are those guys not involved in the National Football League? And why are those guys not helping solve these issues with young players that don't understand how to be professionals? It bothers the heck out of me.
These are emotional issues. The emotions that I feel, the emotions that Mark has right now. We needed someone to go up there and be a leader. To be a leader and say something substantial. To give all of the public out there, all of the fans, all of the former players, all of the current players, all right, to give them hope that things will be done right. And that wasn't done because I don't think Roger Goodell is the guy that can do that anymore.
Well, to that point, he was asked point blank, have you ever considered resigning? And he said, no, I have not considered for 1 second resigning because I want to fix the mistakes and I want to get it right. Is that enough for you?
Fixing a mistake is one thing, but he can't escape this. He can't escape this because the NFL, a big thing about them also is image, how the NFL is portrayed. And as
All right, so who's familiar with this situation right now? I'll say everyone, right? Okay, and it's a very heated situation all over. But if you heard Teddy Bruschi talking, he's talking about be a leader, leadership, right? A lot of the criticism right now against Roger Goodell is that he's not being a leader, right? So, what is a leader? I picked out some select quotes for everybody. I'm sure some of you have seen these before. Same with the premise that the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. A leader, like a shepherd, is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go ahead, whereupon others follow, not realizing that all along they're being directed from behind. And perhaps one of my favorites, be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Okay? Now, who here is familiar with Apple? Everyone have, most people here have an iPhone? Right? Very good. So, and most of you know the story of Apple, right? Apple began with a visionary and a very, very tech-savvy partner. But what most people don't know is the reason why they gained all their exposure, or they gained a lot of the intellectual material that made them great, was through bad leadership from another company, right? Anyone familiar with Xerox? Anyone Xerox anything before? Okay, so Xerox had most of these things. The graphic user interface, networking, all these things, they had it all. They were the personal computing industry. And one day, Steve Jobs knew this. So one day he goes to a meeting and he tells his team, he's like, listen, we can get into Xerox. You know, we can really go light years ahead. We can take our company to the next level. But we have to get in there. So we have this elaborate plan that, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get in there and try and fool these engineers into letting me in. But the engineers were too smart to let him in because they knew that, why the heck are we going to give up these company secrets to this company that will be our competition and in all likelihood surpass us? So they arrived there one day and the engineers said, no, you can't come in. Sorry. And so they proceeded to call the executives, right? Because executives know everything, right? So they called the executives and they said, yeah, sure, come on in. Come on in. You can see wherever you want, anything these engineers are going to have to present to you. And it's at that point, there's this critical inflection point, right? Where Apple took all of these secrets and they truly took themselves to the next level. That was horrible leadership. Not knowing what you have, and not knowing how to value it. Now we could talk for much, much longer about this. So I'm going to try and condense this into the best possible or most applicable, in the most applicable kind of way. How your behavior impacts others. How you react in a conflict situation, and how you respond to conflict. How others react to your behavior. How you think affects others, and what you should do. Okay? We all use ineffective behaviors, okay? None of us are perfect, okay? Your goal is to minimize those ineffective behaviors and add the most value for Sigma Phi fraternity. Right now I'm going to introduce very quickly the judging to valuing ladder, okay? I don't have to explain judging to anyone here. You know what that is, okay? Judging others based on our own preferences, right? So everyone has preferences, we're all different. Understanding how and why people are not alike. Understanding. Everyone understands that, no pun intended. Sincerely respecting differences. Embracing those differences. That's part of being a leader. Appreciating that people are different from us instead of being copies of ourselves. Valuing others and making the most out of differences in our lives. Valuing, okay? That's the critical theme here. Valuing, okay? Did Roger Goodell and his other executives value, okay? Did the executives at Xerox, these are more business examples, but did they value? No, they didn't. And I'm sure they didn't really appreciate, and it's questionable if they respected, right? Practice, don't wing it, right? not a game, practice. Be prepared to do whatever you are asking your brothers to do, okay? Sages, I was a sage. Zeta Chi, 2003. You're not living on an ivory tower, and so you sure as heck be prepared to do whatever you're asking your brothers to do. Leading by example, everyone's heard of that before. So why join Sigma Pi? So we've already went over this in the past presentation. I'll just... Okay, everyone has a handle on that. How can I motivate the brotherhood? Well, one of the first steps is to check for apathy. What the heck is apathy? Anyone know what apathy is? What's apathy?
Not there.
Not there. The lack of interest or concern, especially regarding matters of general importance or appeal. Indifference. Lack of emotion or feeling or passiveness. I can tell you firsthand, apathy can kill your chapter, okay? Leaders don't always have the title of sage, or second counselor, or secretary. Leaders, you can be a leader, and you can be the head of a committee. You don't have to necessarily have the position or the title. How does apathy affect our chapter? Well, we have a graphic here. Basically affects everything. And it's pervasive, and when allowed to permeate, right, it can infiltrate all parts of the chapter. And what does that lead to? Well, probably it'll lead to your membership going down. This is just a kind of review of what we were talking about before, why people join Sigma Pi. I'm not going to be redundant because we already went over all this stuff, so you guys already know this. So one of the things that gives us our identity is our ritual. Without our ritual, we have no identity, right? We're just another fraternity, basically. We're not Sigma Pi fraternity. Beware of senioritis. I knew plenty of seniors even when I was a senior. Even though you're a senior, you're in Sigma Pi for life. So it's not like, oh, I'm a senior, so I'm graduating Sigma Pi in another year. Leading by example, I already mentioned that. You know, you can lead and not have a title or a position. Apathetic leaders make apathetic brothers.